What if your kitchen is a mess? You have sourdough goodness everywhere. It's time to clean it up, but you've heard you should not put sourdough down your drain. Well, how are you supposed to wash it then? Come here, I'm gonna show you exactly what I do. Don't be too scared about it. There's lots of great ways that you can wash up all of your sourdough goodness and not worry about clogging your drain. Let's start by just putting your mind to ease. I bet you do all sorts of other baking in your kitchen and you wash all of those elements in your sink and you've never had any problems. So, first, take a big deep breath. You can make sourdough and wash your bowl and your elements and not be worried that you're going to completely clog your drain. But just so we're on the same page, I just want to make sure that you know you shouldn't ever take big chunks of sourdough starter or dough and shove that down your disposal. That will cause problems. So, if for some reason your dough got moldy or your sourdough starter went bad, that's when you want to just dump it into the trash. Or you can put it in your compost, or if you have chickens, you can feed it to your chickens. But if all you're worrying about is the fact that you need to clean the sourdough elements, you're not actively trying to shove large spoonfuls of starter down your drain, take a big deep breath. It's going to be okay. But with that being said, here is exactly how I clean all of our sourdough elements so it's easy and I don't have to worry at all that it's going to cause any issues in our drain pipes. My first tip for you is whenever you feed your starter to make leaven so that you can bake, any of that leftover leaven, that discard, scrape it back into your main starter jar. Number one, it's so good for that main starter. Number two, you don't need to throw it away. You can use it later. And that's what you can use in discard recipes and all sorts of other fun. And we have lots of videos that explain discard and starter. So if that has you confused, click down into the description below and we'll get you connected to some of the other videos to help make sure that makes sense. But just so you know, that leftover leaven or fed starter, it's not trash. You don't actually want to get rid of it. You want to keep it. So scrape that container clean, clean, clean. Then you really are barely washing anything out of your bowl or your jar. My second tip for you is whatever you use to make the sourdough dough or feed the leaven in, I love to take the biggest container that I used, put that into the sink, fill it with soapy water, let it rest in there, and it starts to dissolve and break down that flour and that water. Now, little tip for you, if you do compost, sourdough starter, leftover dough, even leftover stale bread is so great for your compost. It is packed full of all of this amazing wild bacteria that is really good for your compost. So, if you do need to scrape a bunch into the trash, put it in your compost bin or your yard waste bin if you have that. And we don't have chickens, but I have lots of friends who do have chickens, and they have said that their chickens love to eat the sourdough starter, stale bread, all of that goodness. Once all of your elements have soaked in that big bowl, whatever the biggest bowl was that you used, or if you didn't happen to use a big bowl, you were using jars and spoons and such, get a big bowl out, fill it with hot soapy water, and allow the sourdough elements to soak in there. It'll dissolve any hard sourdough bits, and then you can actually wash all of it in that bowl. Then you want to get out a fine mesh strainer. Now they make these that they will fit right in your drain, or I just grab one of my little strainers and I actually pour this water through the strainer and it catches any large bits so that they don't go down the drain. Then I literally don't have to worry about any big chunks of sourdough going down into the drain. And you'll see this bowl had all sorts of stuff still stuck to it because it's impossible to scrape every single little bit out. And once it is washed and everything, there's very little amount of sourdough starter or dough that is left in that strainer. Now I take this strainer and I just knock this into my compost bin and I let it go out and work its magic in there. Or you could put it in your trash can, whatever works best for you. Now, I've heard lots of people say that they wipe all of their utensils and tools with paper towels. And although that is a good method, it's not my favorite because you end up using a lot of paper towels, and I don't really want to have to go through paper towels that much. Instead, I let all the soaking happen in this bowl and it does the magic. Now, I was given this new product. It's called Dough Dissolve, and it's an enzyme rich soap. And you're going to be surprised when I pump it out. I was surprised the first time I pumped it out. I did not think it was going to be the color that it is. But this soap is designed with all clean ingredients and it's filled with these enzymes that break down the dough. So you put several pumps into your bowl and you want to use about a 1:4 ratio of the dough dissolved soap to water. Then you agitate that with the warm water, allow it all to rest together, and those enzymes do the work. They'll break down all of that really hard to get off dried on sourdough starter. They'll break down any dough that's left stuck on your bowl. And then you're going to do the same process of washing all of your elements. And I still poured it down through the mesh strainer because honestly, I wanted to see what was left over. But you saw the bowl before I put any water in there. Plus, I added dirty spoons and other elements, and there really was a very small amount of dough left in the bowl. So it's still good to pour it through the strainer, but here's the great thing is that the dough dissolve enzymes are going to go down into your drain and they're going to continue to work their magic in your drain. And if you have a septic like we do, it's safe for your septic. We are going to put the links to all of this goodness. The mesh strainer I love. Yes, these lovely bowls. We'll put the links to that down in the description too, links to the dough dissolve. And friend, if you are getting started on your sourdough journey and you are looking for a buddy to bake with you in the kitchen, come hang out with us. We have so much goodness over on our channel all about baking with sourdough, lots of fun recipes that don't include sourdough, tons of garden fun, and we just cannot wait to have you here at the table with us. Now, also, bonus, if you're like, I need help, I need somebody to answer my sourdough questions and my garden questions, come join the family table. That's our membership here on YouTube. You get to come be part of behind the scenes fun. We give our family table members first dibs at all sorts of goodness, from getting to see the videos before they're launched live on our channel to knowing what recipes we're working on next. And I would say the best thing is that you get priority commenting. Whenever you leave a question or a comment on any of our videos, we see yours first and we make sure that your questions get answered. So we're so glad that you're here. Let's go bake all the sourdough and not worry about the whole step of washing it.